Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue.
Flex. Buckle up and join the best. Let Citi relieve your stress. So yes, let the music soothe your soul and keep it going just to refresh. Buckle and enjoy the ride from 2 to the half of the 5. Mondays to Fridays happening live. Where we gon' have a ball, you can text your guys. Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. Are you ready for the Traffic Avenue? Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. An applause for the Traffic Avenue.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, Traffic Avenue, oh yeah.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amado. Tonight, I'm here with
Akosia Ochre.
Coming up over the next 90 minutes, as many as 28 sitting NPP MPs lose the bid to represent the party in the next general election. Meanwhile, in Yendi, where the election result is yet to be declared, the MP Farouk Aliu Mahama led this thuggery on our correspondent, Mohammed Aminu Alabira.
He was saying, oh, where's the commander? Where's the commander? So the police officers came to block him. And so I came in there with my phone camera on. I came to him, so, Honorable, please, what is happening? What are the concerns? Then I pointed the phone at him. He just slapped me, kicked me.
Also coming up, in the Ashanti region, the Kumasi Traditional Council has let Chairman Wuntumi go free after a hearing on his case today. He has been found not to have offended the Asanteman Traditional Council. Also coming up on Eyewitness News.
And I am thankful to God for the strength to endure over 6 years of agonizing pain.
The tears from the mother of a soldier lynched in the Central Region 7 years ago. On the day 12 people were sentenced to life imprisonment for his murder. I'm talking about the late Major Maxwell Mahama. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Bank of Ghana assures of implementing resilient measures to ensure disinflation trend is sustained.
That's in 50 minutes from the City Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a host of affiliate stations, including in the Western region on Premier 100.5 FM in Takoradi. We are still in Takoradi on Sky Power 93.5 FM, also on Beach 105.5 FM, still in Takoradi. Now, if you go to the Bono region, we are live on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Ahafo region, we are on Hammers 106.5 FM in Goso. In the Ashanti region, we are on Alpha Radio 104.9 FM in Kumasi, as well as Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we are on Global 105.1 FM in Ho and Adanu 107.7 FM in Adakluwaya. In the northern region, we are on Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. In the Upper West region, we are on Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. In Upper East, we are on Source 100.1 FM in Boko. In the Northeast region, we are on Scarp 101.3 FM in Nakpan Duri. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. We are interactive. We are on Twitter, now known as X. You can use the hashtag Citi Newsroom, tweet at Citi973 or at Umaru Sanda, and the world will hear what you think. Let's start off with the NPP's big day over the weekend. Over the weekend, the New Patriotic Party went to the polls to elect parliamentary candidates in constituencies that it has sitting MPs. And as many as 28 of the sitting MPs lost the bid to represent the party in the elections of 2024. Indeed, a lot of the persons who lost are deputy ministers. 3 of them are ministers of state. The Minister for Gender, the Minister for Social Protection lost that particular bid. The 2 other ministers lost alongside. A former Minister for Sports, Isaac Esiama, also lost the bid in the Chimampunia constituency. We covered that for you here on Eyewitness on 97.3 Citi FM and also on Citi TV. But when we got to the constituency known as Yendi, which is the traditional capital of Dagbang, things did not go as planned. The counting or sorting was aborted as a result of chaos. But in the melee, the member of parliament for that constituency, the Honorable Farouk Aliu Mahama, decided to pounce on our correspondent, Mohammed Aminu Alabira, who had moved from Bimbela to come and cover the election for us in Yendi. He did not just do the attack alone, but also invited his supporters and thugs to unleash mayhem on not just our correspondent, but also police personnel who were there. In fact, it was the police who rescued our correspondent. Let's listen to Mohammed Aminu Alabira recount to Bernard Avile on the City Breakfast Show today what happened to him on Saturday afternoon in Yendi.
So that was what happened. And when Adibata and Alhaji Farooq, they were seated at the opposite side. So when they saw that Adibata just exclaimed, "Hey!" then she and her husband stood up and left the center. Then the supporters, police came in trying to rescue whatever was happening there. But it went out of control, and the people just came and you saw the ballots being destroyed here and there. So it was getting, voting or counting just disrupted. Nothing could happen again. So it was then that Alhaji Farooq that got up and was asking, "Where is the commander? Where is the commander? You are responsible. He is responsible for that." So because I was live, I wanted to give him the opportunity, maybe to speak to the world, because he had spoken on Citi TV, but then which many people were watching. They would have heard his side of the story. So I came to him in front of the police, started talking. When he was saying, "Oh, where's the commander? Where's the commander?" So the police officers came to block him. And so I came in there with my phone camera on. I came to him, "No, Honorable, please, what is happening? What are the concerns?" Then I pointed the video, the phone at him. He just slapped me, kicked me, and the local bodyguard who is following him, he has some beard there like that. He just held the shirt to my neck. Then all of them just pounced on me, and I was beaten that way. So it was Farooq who first slapped and kicked me. He did that personally to me. So I was rescued by the police, taken to their bus. But then in the bus, the EC official and the municipal director of the EC, they were both in the bus already because they were also being rescued by the police to the place. And the commander, the regional commander and the divisional commander, because Farooq was coming to them, their men also sent them to the bus. So in the bus, I met the regional commander, the divisional commander, and the EC official. in the bus. So I joined them, and later my cameraman Ibrahim also joined them. So the bus took us through Yendi town to the police station. Before we got to Yendi police station, Farouk left the tax again himself, came and blocked the gate of the bus. That the police commander should come down. The police commander should come down. But we were there, we stood in the bus for more than 1 hour. And at the back of
So you mean the police commander and the EC official and yourself were in the bus, and the Farouk and his team did not allow you to come down from the bus for an hour?
Yes, at the police station. When we were driven to the place for us to take maybe refuge at the police station. Before the bus enters the police station, Farouk came with his tank again, came and blocked the gate of the bus at the police station, and all the supporters. And the police station was full, and we were inside the bus. Sometimes you would hear somebody would just throw stone to the bus, and they were hitting the distance. They came and he was just standing in front of the gate of the bus that the commander must come down. So the police commander inside they were calling for reinforcement. The police came, they couldn't do anything. They called that the military should come. The military in Yendi said they could not come until they get order from above. So the regional commander also called the regional boss of the military. Finally, he called him that, I've given them order, they will come. So we were just there in the bus before the military arrived with their sticks and things. And the moment they came, people started running away. Even Farouk himself, who was by the gate, they all ran away from the gate. Then the bus now moved to the entrance of the police, the police commander's office. He moved there and they got down. We all then came down, walked into the commander's office. So in the office there, I saw the regional organizer, Aladi Hudu or Professor Hudu. He and Farouk, they then came in and they walked straight to the commander's office. Actually, at the commander's office, I didn't follow up, but because by then I had no phone again with me, I had nothing with me again. I couldn't have gone there, and my life then, actually, I wasn't free. So I just remained at the hall of the police officers listening till I got a call from the military from Bimbila who came to support that they will be going back. So if I am ready, they will take me home.
That's Mohammed Aminu M. Alabira. He's a correspondent in the northern region who focuses on the eastern corridor side of the region, recounting to Bernard Avila on the City Breakfast Show today what happened to him when he went to cover the NPP primary in the Yendi constituency, where he said the Member of Parliament, Farouk Aliu Mahama, led an attack on him, and the MP himself, according to him, assaulted him physically. I must say that he has gone to the police station this morning and filed a formal process. 97.3 Citi FM and Citi TV, where Aminu works. Management is taking a decision on that, which will be announced later. So that is the situation on what happened on Saturday as far as our coverage and our man on the ground is concerned, that the lawmaker abused the law by abusing our staff who was on the ground. Now, Farouk Mahama was in that contest with the CEO of the Micro and Small Loan Center, Maslock. The person who contested him the last time, she has also contested him this time around, but the election ended inconclusively. Her name is Habibata Shani Mahama Zakaria. She's joined us on the line. Madam, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, Umaru. And good evening to your cherished listeners.
Good evening to you too. What happened in your contest on Saturday?
On Saturday, I must commend the EC, the security agencies, and other agencies who conducted the election. When it started, it was very smooth, so they ended. The problem started when it got to sorting, and the sorting wasn't done in a very transparent manner, in the sense that the first people they asked to move away from the sorting was the media. And they had just coded themselves. Nobody could see what was going on. And when they started, counting. They just said one. Nobody knew what they sorted actually, and all we heard was one. So they asked for who, and they said for the MP. So in the course of the counting, the EC officer got to 69 to 80, jumped from 69 to 80, and everybody was, ooh, ooh, ooh. Then that was when somebody drew the attention of our team that one of the EC officers was actually holding my ballot papers and then destroying them. So my member of my team, who happened to be my brother, went to report to one of the police officers on duty, and nothing was done about it. So he went straight to the officer and asked him what he was doing. He tried to deny, and when we pulled the jackets, they actually saw the ballot papers and then an ink in his pocket. So that really infuriated some party members, and then it led to some kind of chaos.
Sorry, I lost you, Honorable. You said something about ink. I didn't hear that clearly.
The ink part, was found in the jacket of the EC officer who was in my ballot papers and suppressing them and putting in his pocket. So when my brother asked him what he was doing, he said he wasn't doing anything. So they pulled out the jacket and they saw the ballot papers for me and an ink was in it as well.
He was pocketing your ballot papers that had your thumbprint on them?
Sure.
Okay, so it's not as if he was soiling the ballots for you, but rather reducing your ballots by putting some in your pocket.
Reducing my ballots, yes, and then squeezing some. There are videos to effect, so maybe later I can send those videos to you. So as he was holding my ballot, he was squeezing as well. So in effect, he was reducing my ballot papers for whatever reason, I don't know.
And this was an electoral commission officer? You are certain that it was an EC official?
I'm told he's the regional storekeeper for the EC.
Okay.
And then one thing happened that was very strange. The northern region, the election was in 4 constituencies. In all those 4, the other 3 constituencies, the local EC conducted the election. In the case of Yendi, they brought people entirely different to do the election. For example, the divisional commander who superintended over the presidential election was rather asked to man the gates for the election center with his operations, and the regional police commander took over. The regional operations took over, and the EC officers who were doing whatever they were doing were not from Yendi. When our municipal director was present, we also had 4 regional reps in Yendi, and ideally, that wasn't the case. We had the regional organizer, the regional treasurer, the regional research and elections officer. And later on, the regional chairman and our 3rd vice national chairman came to the grounds. So in effect, whatever happened in Yendi was not transparent.
Okay, but you did not protest the presence of any of these officers. So I believe you did not officially protest. So I'm not sure it will really be an issue now. When did things become chaotic and what caused that chaos?
So that was what I was saying. When they saw one of the EC officers holding my ballot papers and destroying some of them to reduce my ballot. And then when he was confronted, they actually found an ink pad in his pocket. We retrieved that and it is with our team. So that led to the chaos. And then some party members who were angry got to the scene.
And what happened? You witnessed this, so what happened?
So there were chaos. Ballot papers were destroyed, both my ballot papers and that of the MP. Those ballot papers were all destroyed. So nobody was able to stay. Everybody left the venue.
Okay.
And then from there, I went to the police station to make a formal complaint as to what transpired at the election center.
All right. So it means that the sorting had been completed, but the counting was not completed.
The counting was not completed. I saw a release from the EC. They mentioned 296, but as at the time the problem started, they had counted to 226. So I don't know whether it's a mistake from the side of the EC.
So you saw 200, But it should be 200 according to what?
26.
226. Okay.
Yeah, there is a video to that effect where it got to.
Before it was disrupted.
Yes, please.
What that means is that as far as you are concerned, we don't have a candidate for Yendi, do we?
At all, we don't have a candidate for Yendi because the counting was not concluded and the ballot papers were destroyed.
Okay. What are you doing about that? Aside reporting to the police, what have you done with your party?
So for now, I've written a petition. I'm sure by tomorrow, our General Secretary will take delivery of the petition and wait for the party's response before I can think of my next action.
Okay. What about the side issues that in the melee there were attacks, there was chaos? Our reporter reported to us how the member of parliament attacked him and his thugs also attacked him. You were there, I'm told, with your husband. Did you notice that? Did you witness anything?
Actually, I didn't witness that. I had left the scene, but there are videos that I saw after the incident. But I wasn't at the venue then. What I know was that the bodyguard to the MP was arrested with a gun. And that was, the police picked him up. But later on, we saw that he was released. So that I know. His bodyguard had a gun.
I see. Now, but are things calm and okay in Yendi?
Yendi has always been a peaceful...
Because I've seen flyers around about a thank you tour and all of that.
Yeah, so I don't know what the thank you tour is about. And as you can see, the EC has issued a statement. As we sit right now, there's no clear winner for the parliamentary primaries. So nobody can hold himself or myself as parliamentary candidate for Yendi. Because as they said, there is nothing like that.
I've seen videos suggesting that yesterday you were in celebratory mood and you had a convoy driving through town claiming to be the candidate.
To be honest with you, I was just going my normal way. A lot of the people know my car. Before I realized, a lot of the youth joined me. So it wasn't deliberate at all. I was doing my normal rounds in town. And before I realized, I was surprised. I was surprised how that happened because it wasn't like an arranged thing. I went to pay a courtesy call to the Yana. Before I got there, the place was crowded with youth. I came out, and then my next point, they were just following me around. But it wasn't something that I arranged. That tells you the love that I have for the constituency.
Very well. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.
That's Abibata Shani Muhammad Zakaria. She is the CEO of the Micro and Small Loan Center, Maslock, and also NPP parliamentary aspirant for the END constituency. Their election results, at least based on what we have seen, have not been declared yet. Dr. Sribo Kwaku is Director of Electoral Services at the Electoral Commission. Doc, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Good evening, my brother.
Good evening. We have seen a video from Yendi where a man, I think he was in a smoke, announced that Farouk Aliu Mahama had been declared the parliamentary candidate of the MPP for Yendi, and I saw powder or something to that effect being poured on him. Was that your officer?
No, the Electoral Commission has not declared any results.
Explain why, please.
Yeah, the information that I received from our regional director is that after they have finished casting the ballot, the votes for the various candidates were sorted out. When you sorted them, you stack them together. So they started counting the first candidate's vote, that is the incumbent MP. They go to 290 something. Then there was this commotion and the ballot counting was disrupted and some of the ballot papers were destroyed. So the election was not conclusive. Therefore, the Electoral Commission couldn't have declared any results.
So in this instance, what does it mean? The election is deemed not to have been conducted at all?
Yeah, so the Commission will report to the party that we couldn't conclude the ballot counting there. Therefore, the result we couldn't declare the results.
Do you know why the disruption happened?
So what I know is that they were counting and somebody shouted that somebody was holding the ballot paper and the confusion. From the feedback from our people, number one, we do the counting if there are about 2 or 3 candidates, then you assign the ballot for each candidate to somebody. So the guy who was holding the ballot for the second candidate was our, even was still our supply officer in Tamale, that he went there to assist. And the one who was in the counting was also one of our observers from Sabuba. Then the officer himself was also there. So a lot of people were there to support them, and they were attacked and the ballots were destroyed. So for now, our officers don't know the reason why they should be attacked. So there are a lot of speculations in the media. We cannot assign any reason for that because they didn't tell us the reason why they attacked our people.
So some of your officers were attacked?
Yes, they were. And some of them were in jail.
How serious were the injuries?
They've gone to hospital, and I've not gotten the details of the injury.
About how many of your officers were attacked?
And I heard 3 of them, but the one who was holding the ballot paper for the second candidate was the one who was seriously hurt, and they nearly destroyed the eye.
I see. Who are they? Who attacked them? Did they tell you?
No, it's a mob action. So you cannot. It's the police that can, because the police was there. Here, the regional commander was there, and the rest. So I believe the police will do the investigation and come out with the culprits.
Okay, but did they tell you whether the attackers were from candidate A or candidate B?
No, I wouldn't. In the heat of the confusion, whatever you say will be just speculation. So let's wait for the police to come out with the investigation.
I see. I've just spoken to the second candidate. She said that the release you issued, you said 296, but it was rather 226, the total counting that was done before the disruption. She says she believes it may have been an error. Has that come to your attention?
No, I think that's what the figures that our officers wrote. So.
Okay. The next...
They were counting. So it is not... Maybe he might have heard of that number, because the counting was still ongoing.
She said that there was a video showing the counting until the disruption, and that as of the time the disruption happened, it was at 226, even though your statement says 296.
Well, that is what our officers informed us about.
Okay. The next issue is that there's a direct charge against one of your officers that he had ink in his pocket, which ink he was using to soil the ballot papers, and also he was crumpling some of them and putting into his pocket. Has that charge come to your attention?
No, the people who have different stories to tell. So, like I said, let's wait for the police to come out with the investigation. And because, like I said, the police was there, the regional commander himself was there. So I don't think anybody can. But like I said, let's wait for the police to finish with the investigation.
Okay, but while police do their investigation, you as EC also should do your internal investigation. If one of your officers stands accused, you should be interested in determining what happened. Have you questioned them?
If we are doing investigation, we have not finished. I will not come and say anything on air when we have not gathered all the information that we are looking for.
So are you investigating that particular allegation that one of your officers was compromised?
No, nobody has complained to us, but we will... Well, they themselves will have to give us a detailed report of what part.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us. I don't know if you have time to talk about IPAC. You had an IPAC meeting today.
No, I'm at a meeting when I have to.
That's fine. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's Dr. Sribo Kwaku. He's Director of Electoral Services at the Electoral Commission. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. So the story, a number of issues coming out from the elections on Saturday. 28 sitting NPP MPs have lost the bid to represent the party on the ballot paper on December 7 or November 7, depends on when we're going to vote, 2024. That's the main issue. The second issue is that the elections have not been declared in the Yendi constituency. The Electoral Commission has just said that to us. The third issue is that the Member of Parliament for Yendi, Farouk Aliu Mahama, led an attack on our correspondent in the area, Mohammed Aminu M. Alabira, and we've been getting some reactions coming through based on this attack. Akusia.
Yes, the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, GEBA, has called on the government and police to take action against persons who attacked journalists in their line of duty. Well, this follows the attack on Citi FM and Citi TV's reporter Aminu Alabira by the Yendi MP Aliu Mahama in the just ended primaries. Now, the association has further expressed its support with the Ghana Journalists Association in their condemnation of the attack by the MP. In an interview with Citi News, the president of GEBA, Cecil Sunkwa Mills, called on political parties to sensitize their members against violence.
We're calling on government and especially the police that all the complaints that have been given, we would want to see action. Irrespective of who it is, we want to see the same action immediately. These are not hoodlums, these are very visible politicians. And we wish that they take the appropriate step. And also to aware to the parties that we have started the Central Region, there is a blackout specifically on the MP that was involved. And we will maintain and spread that effectively as possible. And we'll look at further actions, especially with what has happened in the northern region. We must put a stop to this.
You heard that the president of the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, Cecil Sunkwa Mills.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM broadcasting from Adabraka in Accra. I am Umaru Sandamadi here with Akosia Ochre, still ahead after 7 years since he was brutally killed. Major Maxwell Mahama's family now gets justice, and that justice means that 12 persons have been sentenced to life imprisonment for killing him. We have details when we come back. Please stay.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
The wait is over. It's the Clash of Titans. The Total Energies African Cup of Nations Côte d'Ivoire 2023 is here. And as part of this year's competition, all Total Energy service stations will go into 100% football mode. So drive to selected service stations and kickstart your year with lots of amazing giveaways. So starting Sunday 14th January, when you buy fuel or lubricants on selected match days from selected Total Energy service stations, you instantly win amazing branded souvenirs. Let's celebrate the passion of football together and win lots of gifts during the 2023 Total Energies African Cup of Nations. Remember, promo is valid while stocks last. Visit our social media pages Total Energies GH for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Let's live football together.
Media Sambisanda Moa. And Yamratiano, Mumu Weapon, it will fit no more put on Pemona Yakono. Eh, Quapna. No Mumu wants me to be just my marrying that day. And the crow, complete to me number don't be sense or you super accident ever. I had in a binding to Braille, who see it in a mobile, some man out in it. Sir, I now could you soon use super accident Chaco, then really dear, and most of you could fit of that. No, what you ask you, my mother feel you. Kojo, sir. Yeah. Pepsodent Heba and a Pepsodent Taco. A baby, you're gonna natural.
FDIJ Jadian Katuyatu.
Do you care enough about your business? Then it's time to make a transition to renewable energy and energy efficiency solutions. Visit the AGI Energy Service Center and talk to us. AGI ESC cares about business growth. That is why we're here to assist industries cut production cost through energy savings. We provide you with solar feasibility studies, energy audits, energy efficiency trainings, and financial advisory services. Visit agiesc.com for more information or call us on 0507 977 902, an initiative of the Association of Ghana Industries in partnership with the German Development Corporation, implemented by GIZ.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Adabraka in Accra. We are also around the globe on citinewsroom.com. We are on X. You can join us with your messages using the hashtag CitiNewsroom or tweeting at Umaru Sanda or at Citi973. Alternatively, go on WhatsApp. Use the number 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. Let me bring some of the messages you've been sending through. Aka Paul Jr. in Ahafomim. He says a candidate must be made to bear the full cost of conducting a rerun if there should be any. The perpetrators must bow down their heads in shame. Zelis Join in London says what the MP did was unacceptable and must be made to face the law. Aziz Donla in Wa, he says Honorable Farouk's action towards the Citi FM reporter is totally unacceptable and needless. The lawmaker should have known better since he works at the seat of parliament. The management of Citi FM and Citi TV should take this matter up. Jones Aduboy in La says, good evening, Umaru. The question is, now who caused some? When politicians promise heaven on earth and they delivered none, what do you expect? When the only time to get the attention of your MP again is the next 4 years. Parliament now is for the highest bidder. Very sorry for your reporter. It's rather unfortunate. Ghanaians are not angry enough. Honorable Ayuba from Yagbon says, if you monitor the MPP primaries over the weekend, you will come to a conclusion that our democracy is in serious coma. Even aside the attacks on the journalists, the vote buying in cash and other heavy materials to influence delegates across the country is a source of worry. Send your message to 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. Let me just say that the New Patriotic Party has not officially issued a statement on what has happened in Yendi. And so we are with that, even though there's a statement that has come through from the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and also the Vice President, who is the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party on the election so far. This is Eyewitness News broadcasting from number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka in Accra. Let's now go to Major Maxwell Mahama. In 2017, we were here when the video emerged of people who lynched him. It was a brutal and horrific scene that gripped the nation. Today, the court has made a pronouncement. Akosia.
Yes, 12 persons, including the then Assemblyman for Dencho Boase Bernard Asamoah, who were involved in the lynching of Major Maxwell Mahama at Dencho Boase in the Central region in May 2017, have been sentenced to life imprisonment. The jury found the 12 guilty for counts of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and abetment of murder. Attorney General Godfrey Dame, in an interview, said he is hopeful that this will serve as a deterrent to people who practice mob justice.
It's been a long, drawn-out battle. Started way back December 2017. That is when the indictment was filed at the district court. Then there were committal proceedings, and then the persons were accused when committed to stand trial at the High Court. That was in April 2018. So all in all, it's been about 5 years or more of a trial. Of course, the wheels of justice, as we all know, grind slowly, but today we have seen justice. We satisfied the conviction of the 12 accused persons. 2 have been acquitted in accordance with due process. Yes, I do not think the Republic will contest the acquittal of those 2 persons. Yes, so we are satisfied with it. And we can only express our sympathies with the family of the late Major Mahama. They have suffered a lot. They've gone through a lot of grief. You saw the mother in court today, as well as the brother and other family members. Yes, but at least they've seen justice today, and I'm sure they'll also be very happy.
Do you think that this judgment will anyway go into the issue about mob action and that people should not rely on that?
Yes. For me, that's actually the most important lesson to be drawn from this. That indeed there's no point at all engaging in mob justice. But clearly, there was a situation where a person who was innocent, was gruesomely murdered under such circumstances. And I believe that the whole nation will learn from it and need to put an end to mob justice in Ghana. I was quite appalled to see the videos of Major Mahama on social media. But again, I must also congratulate the investigative team as well as the prosecutorial team, which also put together all the necessary evidence, pieces of evidence for the court. And at least we have seen that mob justice does not pay. Ultimately, the wheels of justice will catch up with you. And if you think that you can resort to justice by yourself, you yourself will be dealt with in accordance with law. I believe that these men who have been convicted today and who are going to serve the rest of their life in prison will indeed learn a lesson, and I'm sure the community in which they live also will learn a lesson. And I believe that the whole nation should learn from this. Major Mohammed's incident should never occur again.
That was the Attorney General, Godfrey Ibwadame.
Indeed, the mother spoke to journalists today after the sentencing. We'll be hearing from her in a bit. But let's go back to the big story we've been bringing you tonight, which has to do with the MPP parliamentary primaries. As many as 28 are losing their bid to represent the party in the next election, and also the specific situation in Yendi. Justin Kudia Frimpong is the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party. He's joined us on the line. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Thank you, Umara, and greetings to your listeners.
Greetings to you too. The big takeaway is that you've lost 28 of your MPs. And when I say lost, not that you lost them in a general election, but a bid for them to represent you is not going to happen, at least not on your ticket. What's your comments to that as General Secretary of the governing party?
Well, I believe the moment we all decided to join politics, we equally understood that elections will always be part and parcel of whatever decision or activities that we get ourselves involved. And in elections, there are always two possible outcomes. It's either you win or you lose. And I'm sure even our members of parliament who lost were fully aware that in going into elections, they can win or they can lose. So if it has happened that way, I know they have accepted it in good faith. They are still members of parliament and they are still members of our party. And I know they are going to support those candidates or other aspirants who won. And for us as a political party also, it is December 7th that would determine whether our delegates made the right choice or not. And as General Secretary, after December 7th, the party is able to overwhelmingly win more seats in Parliament, then the party would have been vindicated by the choice of the delegates. So that's how I want to look at it.
I see. Now, have you been given assurances by them, though, that they will support the campaign? Are you not concerned about the cracks that may emerge, or you are sure that those have been sealed?
Well, definitely. After elections, what is important is how quickly the party is able to put the necessary reconciliation committee in place. And you foresaw all these things happen, that in elections, certainly people will lose, people will be bitter, people will be angry, and people will be disappointed. So it's the duty of the party to pull all of them together for them to understand and also to quickly bring them on board. And I can assure you that the party has a reconciliation committee in place whose job will be from now to the end of the month to bring everybody on board.
Very well. What happened in Yendi? Have you been given a report? What's the party's position or decision on that?
Well, by and large, you agree with me that the election was very peaceful, successful, and rather unfortunate that we had this incident happening at Yendi. And today I spoke to the two aspirants, Adibata and Farouk, and I've given them a very stern warning that at the end of the day, the party is bigger than any individual. So if issues have come up, we are expecting them to comport themselves and allow the national party to look into the matter and also to take a decision on it. And as I speak to you, we are yet to receive the formal report from our rep who went to the region, and also to receive a report from the Electoral Commission and also the Ghana Police. When we get all these reports, the National Executive Committee will meet to deliberate on it and take a decision on Yendi.
We have seen a video where a vice chairman of yours in the region declared the sitting MP as a candidate, and I heard your name mentioned in there. Did you sanction that?
Well, for whatever transpired there, once we get the report, the party will take a decision on it.
Does your party officers, are your party officers allowed to declare candidates as winners of elections?
Like I said, when we get all this report, the party will take a firm decision on it.
Does the party recognize that announcement that the incumbent MP is a PC elect?
Well, like I stated, several things happen at Yendi. So unless we have the full fact, I'm unable to give a pronouncement on this. So let's just wait. Once we get the full fact, through the National Executive Committee, we will issue the party position on it. If you push me to speak, then it will be my position, not the position of the party. So let's wait for the National Executive Committee to meet, and all the issues that came about will be discussed, and I'll give you the official position of the party.
Okay. You are a lawyer. You are also the chief administrator of your party. As of Saturday morning, was your directive that your party officers should declare candidates winners, or the EC should declare candidates winners? And this one is not going to be a personal position, but an official position of yours. What was your position going into the election on 27th? Was it for the declaration to be done by the EC or declaration to be done by your officers? And if someone else aside the EC does a declaration, is that null and void or is legitimate? That's the question.
Well, at the end of the day, I don't know which angle you want to have the discussion. Like I said, several things happened at Yendi. And whether it was a party officer, whether it was an electoral commission who declared or not, let me tell you, even what happened on Saturday, whether results were declared by electoral commission and they selected, National Executive Committee has the power to reverse decisions even made on Saturday. So like I stated earlier on, let's wait for National Executive Committee to meet so that at least we look at the whole issues in totality and come to a conclusion. Then I'll be in the position to issue the official statement of the party. Okay,
and when should we get that official statement coming from you?
Well, definitely when we are to go for a National Executive Committee, notices will be sent. And as we always do, we invite the press to come. Then after the next meeting, we do the briefing.
Okay, so now I'm a reporter. The Electoral Commission has said to me that it has not declared the results for Yendi. Elsewhere, I have seen videos circulating where a party officer of yours is declaring a candidate winner. What should my publication say? Should my publication say...
As it stands now, Umar,
yes, go ahead.
As communicated by the Electoral Commission, they have made their position. And like I said, let's wait. The National Executive Committee will meet and issue.
No problem. But while we wait for that to happen, what should my reporting be? Should my reporting be that there's no candidate or there's a candidate?
So your reporting should be, we are waiting for National Executive Committee to issue an official statement on it. That should be your report.
Okay. Have you also heard that the MP, not your MP, is a Ghanaian MP, but the MP for Yendi, your party member, attacked our reporter in the northern region? Did that come to your attention?
Well, as of now, I've not received any report of that nature. And if indeed it happened, there would have been an unfortunate incident, and the party will look at it. NPP is a party that would never condone any act that seeks to undermine or attack the integrity of journalists in this country. So let's assume that it's an allegation. But once it comes before us and we're able to ascertain that indeed this is what happened, the party will definitely take a hard stand on it.
We reported on this since Saturday. Other media platforms have reported on that. You're saying that you have not seen this?
Well, I have not. I might not expect that we know everything that is happening. From Saturday, I did not take it. I've been overburdened with several issues, and even today I was at dementia. So it's possible that I might not have heard it, and I've told you that I have not, and I've even made a position that if indeed it happened, there would have been an unfortunate incident. Okay. I don't see why, if I've heard it, I'll come and deny.
Have you also heard that the Honorable K.T. Hammond in Adansia Square on the election day threatened to let people beat up his contender at the end of the polls? Has that come to your attention? The video is all over the place.
Well, I saw the video. Then at the end of the day, we are waiting for the official report from our rep, so that at least then we have official report on our table. The NEC will meet to take a decision on all incidents that happened on Saturday.
But you will not condemn it, even though you've seen the video?
Well, I want to get the report first.
Finally, you were in Menchia today to support your regional chairman, Bernard Ntribo-Siakun, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi. What happened? What did Menchia say to you in relation to the summons that was issued to your chairman?
Well, you all saw the statement. It was done in an open space, and the media were there. And what happened today was the directive by Nananum for us to bring Chairman Wontumi to appear before them, which the party, in a respectful manner, obliged. And yes, when we went there, the chief who made the allegation that Wontumi has defamed His Majesty was called upon. to make a statement, and Chairman Wunting was also called upon to make a statement. And at the end of the day, the Nanamo spoke about it and advised both parties that matters of politics should not be mingled with chieftaincy institutions. And it's a lesson that everyone has learned from what has transpired today. And just as Chairman Wunting stated, that for his respect for the revered king, there's no way that he can go and make utterances that seeks to defame the king. And at least there are certain directives that Nanamo has given to the party and those involved in the issue to follow. And let's leave it to Nanamo to do what they know is best for the both parties.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you.
That's Justin Frimpong Kodia, JFK, as is known as, who is General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's return to the story of the 12 persons who have been sentenced to death. There's 12 persons, not to death, I beg your pardon, to hanging. Now, these 12 persons include the then Assembly member for the Ntreboase in the Central Region, Bernard Asamoah. They were part of the team or the mob that lynched and killed a soldier at the time on duty, Major Maxwell Mahama at the Ntreboase in May 2017. The Attorney General has expressed satisfaction with the guilty verdict that has been returned by the jury on the 12 persons. And after the court hearing and the decision, the mother of the late Major Maxwell Mahama, Veronica Bamford, spoke to journalists. Listen to her.
The murder of my son has been determined, and I am thankful to God for the strength to endure over 6 years of agonizing pain. The twist and turns of events and associated heartache is unspeakable. God knows my plight as a mother whose loving son was snatched away from her in such a gory manner.
So that's Veronica Bamford. She's mother of the late Major Maxwell Mahama, who was lynched at the Ntreboase in the Central Region on May 29, 2017. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. It's now time for the latest in the world of business. And then on Point Blank, we are going to West Africa. ECOWAS in shambles as 3 countries announce the decision to quit. What does that mean to the regional bloc or the sub-regional bloc? Stay with us.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
When you want to eat, just Momo it. Tired of the long queues in the supermarket? Pay with Momo. When you really want that beautiful new blouse, just Momo it. When you want to get a trim and get fresh to impress you know who, just Momo it. When you need to pay your utility bills and domestic staff, Shani Momo. When you want to send love to the family back home, send some Momo. Join the millions of MTN Momo users all over Ghana and live life the brighter way. So just Momo it. MTN.
The wait is over. It's the Clash of Titans. The Total Energies African Cup of Nations Côte d'Ivoire 2023 is here. And as part of this year's competition, all Total Energy service stations will go into 100% football mode. So drive to selected service stations and kickstart your year with lots of amazing giveaways. So starting Sunday 14th January, when you buy fuel or lubricants on selected match days from selected Total Energy service stations, you instantly win amazing branded souvenirs. Let's celebrate the passion of football together and win lots of gifts during the 2023 Total Energies African Cup of Nations. Remember, promo is valid while stocks last. Visit our social media pages Total Energies GH for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Let's live football together.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens. Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
It's time for Citi Business News and Eyewitness News, brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan, make that big move and dream a reality. I am Akusia Otre. Let's settle for the details. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, has assured that his outfit will continue to monitor developments in the economy and implement resilience measures to ensure the country's disinflation trend is sustained. The Bank of Ghana, at its 116th monetary policy announcement today, lowered its policy rate by 1% from 30 to 29% after 6 months. Addressing the press at a media briefing, the governor of the central bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, cited a significant decline in inflation.
Headline inflation declined sharply by more than 30 percentage points in the course of 2023. Several factors have supported the disinflation process, namely the tight monetary policy stance throughout 2023, favorable international crude oil prices, which led to stable export prices and transportation costs, relative stability in the exchange rate. The latest forecast suggests that the disinflation process will continue, and headline inflation is expected to ease to around 13 to 17% by the end of 2024, before gradually trending back to within the medium-term target range of 6 to 10% by 2025. These forecasts notwithstanding, there are upside risks to the inflation outlook, and there is the need for strict implementation of the 2024 budget and a tight monetary policy stance to sustain the disinflation process. The committee noted the emerging recovery, but sees the need to maintain a strong policy stance to consolidate the disinflation gains. Under these circumstances, the committee decided to reduce the monetary policy rate by 100 basis points to 29%.
You heard the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison. Now, economist and research lead at GCB Capital, Courage Buti, says despite sustained efforts and an encouraging progress in the economy, Ghana's economy remains far from the stable level needed to instill confidence in both domestic and offshore investors. He notes that there will be a cautious approach from market participants still haunted by the memories of past challenges, including the domestic debt exchange program. In an interview with Citi Business News, Courage Buti, however, believes that with time and the sustained implementation of reforms, confidence will gradually return.
Once we sustain the efforts, and there has been good progress in the first review, you see the macros improving, but they are nowhere near the stable levels we want them. So it's still fragile. And so people will be cautious. They've been beating really hard with DDP and everything associated, right? So everybody will be cautious in how they respond to the local market. You are not seeing inflows from offshore investors because they are seeking even out. And now debt restructuring is going on. So the usual things that bring a lot of liquidity to the market, it's not there. And it's now the central bank's liquidity interventions through the fortnight auctions and then the intraday liquidity supply. They are doing the minimum possible not to deplete their reserves also. So there are concerns and there are good reasons. I mean, I think these are part of the reasons why you are not looking at that aggressive maybe appreciation or aggressive correction that you normally see with the inflows like this. But then it's a matter of time. Once we win back the confidence and the macros are sustained and we see steady improvement, people gradually warm up to Ghana again. And that is where you will begin to see the impact of all the reforms happening.
That was voice of Courage Buti. He's an economist and research lead at GCB Capital. Let's still stay with the banks because Access Bank Ghana PLC has opened a new branch at the Bright International Industrial Hub in Afienya to bring banking services closer to customers in the industrial hub and its environs. This is in pursuance of the bank's objective of enhancing customer experience and satisfaction for the over 100 medium to large-scale Chinese corporate entities operating in the area. Here's the Executive Director for Wholesale Banking at Access Bank Ghana PLC.
Branch is actually a furthering of our relationship with the Chinese community. We actually have a dedicated Chinese desk. And we do this in partnership with the various chambers of commerce. So Ghana Chinese Chamber of Commerce, we have a partnership with them over the past 5 or 6 years. So we run a desk. The culmination of that is we noticed that Greenhouse International was setting up a free zones enclave here. So we had a discussion with them. And since Access Bank is not just Ghana, we're in 16 countries across Africa. And we're also in Hong Kong and then in Shanghai. And the free zones enclave is 80% exports. So we thought it would be a good idea to put a presence here, give them banking services, but also open the world to them through our branch in Afina. So one, we are supporting them to industrialize, manufacturing enclave here, export. Two, we are making sure that where they are exporting to, we have a presence there to help them bring their money back.
That was Executive Director for Wholesale Banking at Access Bank Ghana PLC, James Bruce. Let's stay away from the banking sector because the president of the Ghana Institution of Engineering, Engineer Kwabena Bempong, is urging stakeholders in the building and construction sector to leverage technology and innovation to tackle the country's housing deficit. Currently, Ghana has a housing deficit of 1.8 million units. Engineer Kwabena Bempong, speaking in an interview with Citi Business News on the 2-day Building Technology Fair at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, highlighted the imperative of ongoing collaboration to address the gaps in Ghana's housing shortfall.
Overall, our mission is to, one, reduce the cost of building materials and invariably reduce the price of houses to make them affordable to the masses, if I'll put it that way, that is those within the low to middle income brackets. Within our own countries, we have a lot of resources. We have clay resources. Clay can be used in the provision of housing, in terms of bricks, in terms of roofing, in terms of even floor tiles. So far as I'm concerned, there's a huge potential in the country, and all we need to do is to harness this potential for the greater good of our, teeming masses who do not have houses.
President of the Ghana Institution of Engineering, Engineer Kwabena Bempong. Finally, Air Côte d'Ivoire has revealed plans to launch direct flights to Morocco from April 15, 2024, operating 4 flights per week. This adds to its series of triumphs that include an impressive turnover of 992 billion CFA over 11 years. Director General of the company, Laurent Lucou, shared these remarkable milestones during a ceremony to mark the company's decade-long journey and unveiling future prospects.
To make a brief summary of the last 10 years of the company, to tell everybody that now it's done. We have break-even for the regional flights, and we are going to launch the long-haul flights. And for that, the company will do it with Airbus 330, that 900, and will be one of the most comfortable and good aircraft for the region. What we want to do is not only to serve Côte d'Ivoire, but serve all the West and Central Africa and open this region to the world in the coming 10 years.
Director General of Air Côte d'Ivoire, Laurent Lucou. Well, that's all for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. The business news was brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB personal loan, make that big move and dream a reality. I am Akosi Altre. Up next is Point Blank.
Hello, Linda. You won't believe what I am planning next. I want to start my postgraduate degree, buy a car, and build my dream home. But you know what's stopping me?
What's that, Mike?
Money, that be my biggest wahala.
Oh, you are sorted, Kra. With a GCB Big Move personal loan promo, you can borrow up to a whopping 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate in less than 24 hours.
Like, seriously? How do I qualify?
Yes, it's available to all GCB salary account holders. Plus, you get a 2-month grace period before you start to pay back.
Susket, I'm opening an account with GCB now.
Get a personal loan of up to 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate in less than 24 hours. Call 0800-422-422 or visit your nearest GCB branch today to fund your next big move as we celebrate 70 years of greatness. T's and C's apply. GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Hey, Opeyin, what is this I'm hearing about some economic census?
Yes, the Ghana Statistical Service is conducting a nationwide census of all businesses called the Integrated Business Establishment Survey, popularly known as IBES.
A census of businesses? What is that for?
Well, for businesses to grow, they will need data on all business activities for decision making to enhance their profitability.
Hey, so does it mean my top bar is part of this exercise?
Of course it is. All businesses, whether for profits or non-profits, are included.
Okay, but won't my personal information be disclosed?
Not at all. Data collected will be kept confidential and used solely for statistical purposes, so your individual information is well protected.
Really? So when is it starting and how can I help?
This exercise will begin in January 2024. Help by giving the right information to the field staff who will be visiting your business.
Remember, support GSS to provide you with the right data for your business growth and national development.
2024 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
My name is Umaru Sandama. But tonight on Point Blank, we're talking about the West African grouping, ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. Now, on Saturday, 3 countries, former upper voter now Burkina Faso, Niger and Mali have announced that they are leaving the ECOWAS. Reason is because ECOWAS is behaving in a way that they thought was not in line with what the ideals of the organization was when it was formed. So what does it mean to ECOWAS, to African Union, and the integration agenda? We used to have a ministry for regional reintegration. Now that 3 countries have broken away, indeed 2 other countries in the past have also broken away from ECOWAS. What does that mean? At the time we are talking about having a single currency, the ECO. Emmanuel K. Bensa is an analyst, ECOWAS analyst, and also follows the African Continental Free Trade Area, the AFTA. We've called him up for a conversation on this particular subject. Mr. Bensa, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Good evening, Omar. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you for joining us. Is this something that was long in coming, or it can be described as a surprise, this exit on Saturday?
Okay, I want things to be as clear as possible. What Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali basically did was to make an announcement. They haven't really exited ECOWAS because there's going to be a lot of logistical issues around withdrawing from ECOWAS. I think the ECOWAS statement, which a lot of us have seen, indicate that the ECOWAS Commission has seen a lot of information in the social media that indicate that they would like to withdraw, but they have not, ECOWAS Commission has not received a formal request to that effect. So yes, they made an announcement, which some may call bluff and bluster, because they had already indicated their, not so much disinterest with ECOWAS affairs as the fact that they were displeased with the way they feel ECOWAS had treated them, and claimed that ECOWAS had been influenced by foreign actors, reason for which they were behaving the way they were doing in imposing deadlines and so on and so forth, which is strange because this is something that ECOWAS has been doing for almost 40 years plus of trying to soften crises in the sub-region. So for me, I think this is a signal to ECOWAS to say, look, guys, we're not happy with what's going on in our neck of the woods, the Sahel region. Let's have a talk. But, they needed to do something dramatic. And this was one way of doing it. Because if you honestly look at the institutional and logistical challenges that will come with the withdrawal, it's huge. There are institutions of ECOWAS within these three countries. One of them, I can tell you, is the West Africa Health Organization in Burkina Faso. There's also an ECOWAS volunteers program in Burkina Faso. In the event that the withdrawal happens, it will mean that the West Africa Health Organization will have to withdraw its diplomatic credentials from Burkina Faso, find another ECOWAS country to set up the ECOWAS volunteers program the same, and so on and so forth. It will come up with a whole huge headache, and even the staff of these three countries who are employed at ECOWAS will no longer be ECOWAS officials. They will no longer be diplomats. They will have to be, withdrawn. So I honestly think that this is a lot of bluster, in a bluff of bluster, and also a lot about optics, about indicating to Francophone Africa, the rest of Francophone Africa, that look, we're standing up to ECOWAS. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of backroom dealings will be happening to make sure that they don't go anywhere.
Now, you talk about a lot of logistical challenges that have to be dealt with. What does the ECOWAS rule itself say? Is it a voluntary organization? Can I not announce that I'm quitting? And if I say I'm quitting, there don't need to be any bureaucratic steps that I have to go through. Is it a voluntary thing? I'm not going anymore. Why is that a big deal?
Well, it's a real big deal because these are part of the founding members of ECOWAS back in 1975. And let me give you an example. When Mauritania said they wanted to quit ECOWAS back in 1999, they made the announcement in December 1999, around Christmas time. It took a whole year. They actually requested from ECOWAS 1 year to withdraw, and that was the shortest possible time they could do it. So it was in December 2000 that they officially withdrew from ECOWAS. The origins of that are online, but it has a lot to do with two main things. They were not so happy with the fact that ECOWAS kept drumming the democracy promotion agenda. Secondly, something about they didn't want to use a regional currency. They were against it. They wanted to use their own currency and that kind of thing. But they withdrew, and it took 1 good year. So you can imagine there's best practice already with ECOWAS, member states withdrawing. Mauritania is one. They eventually withdrew and went back to the Arab Maghreb Union because they felt they were more aligned with the Muslim world than they were with West African countries seeking to promote democracy among themselves. But the interesting thing is in 2017, Mauritania actually came back to ECOWAS requesting an agreement, an associate agreement with ECOWAS. So, yeah, they are not members of ECOWAS, but they are now dealing with ECOWAS for the past 6 years or so. because they realize that there are benefits of being members of ECOWAS, which they will not enjoy, such as visa-free access to West African countries and so on and so forth. But at least they have access to discussions of what's going on in the sub-region. So I want to believe that in the event that Mali, Burkina Faso, and our other friends decide to finally withdraw, and it may take a year or so, these are some of the benefits that diplomats will be looking at with very blue or black pen to say, look, no. When you look at the benefits and the merits, it looks like the benefits of staying actually mean that let's try and find something, a reason why we should stay in ECOWAS. Voluntary, yes, but you can't just withdraw like that. It takes time, and these countries have invested too much into ECOWAS to make pulling out such an easy option. ECOWAS has been around for 49 years, Omar. 49 years. Next May, ECOWAS will be celebrating 50 years of an institution. 50 years of an institution is no small feat. And so you can imagine all these 40 years plus, having invested with staff and all the other things, and now deciding to pull out. It's not going to be easy.
I see, but again, the purpose of ECOWAS was regional integration, inter-country trade, and all of that, sub-regional trade.
Yes.
Since its formation in 1975, we have seen countries leave. We have not seen countries join. That is a problem for a union group or a unity group, isn't it? And I'm surprised that you appear to be underestimating the magnitude of this particular departure. 3 countries at a go on a single letterhead surely should be destabilizing or a disruptive move for a group that has 15 members.
Yes, I'm not underestimating any way, shape, or form. But I'm also having the context of what happened with the European Union. You see, Brexit, when Brexit happened in 2015, 2016, the European Union did not just, that is, the UK, did not just suddenly leave. It took, when some of us spoke to some friends or whoever else in those parts of the world, we realized that it was actually going to take a year plus for the UK to formally withdraw from the European Union and then begin to break down, roll back all the benefits that they had been enjoying, such as, benefits for fathers, benefits for Social Security, and all these other things that they were enjoying. So it is not an easy thing at all for an institution that has invested 20 years plus, for a country that has invested 20 years plus, into a regional institution and to say that we are leaving. There are lots of challenges that will come with it. In the event, I would say the likely event that it happens, these 3 countries already enjoy visa-free regime within the ECOWAS country. What this will mean, therefore, is now these 3 countries will no longer enjoy visa-free regime in West Africa. They will now need to apply for visas to enter Ghana and all the other ECOWAS countries. And the visa-free regime has been something that's been running since 1979 in ECOWAS, and this has been one of the biggest advantages of working in the sub-region and traveling in the sub-region. Applying for visas, that's just a simple thing. So that is the visa thing. Now, what about Malians who are in Ghana? They will no longer be ECOWAS citizens. Malians who are in any other ECOWAS country, they will no longer be ECOWAS citizens. They will not be treated as such. They will now have to reapply as individual, as if they are aliens to the ECOWAS community. So there's a lot of things, labor issues, there's traveling issues. Once they get to the airport, if they no longer if they forget and they don't apply for a visa, they will not board the plane to travel to another ECOWAS country. They will be asked, where is your visa? Now, all these things are going to take time to roll back, but they will eventually be rolled back in the event that it happens. And this is not going to be good for citizens who have left themselves at the mercy of the junta, who feel that making an audacious statement such as withdrawing from a regional institution they have been party to for 40-something good years because of disillusionment with the French. They're making that statement and forgetting that it will impact ordinary people such as women, such as youth, people who are married to Ghanaians, who are married to Malians or married to Burkina Faso. They're not going to have it easy. They're going to be challenged because Ghanaian will be an ECOWAS citizen, but their husband or wife will no longer be an ECOWAS citizen. It will pose problems for them living in Ghana and which other ECOWAS countries they're living in. These are things that they are not thinking about very clearly because they want to make grandstanding statements that say that we are standing up to the French. A lot of us have problems with the French, but there are better ways, in my view, to deal with some of these things than withdrawing from a regional institution, which benefits have been larger at the end of the day to the conversation and the narrative of regional peace and security. At the end of the day, I will be the very first person to say that ECOWAS was caught napping with the Sahel crisis when NATO took out Gaddafi in 2011. Okay, and then the guns started flowing into the Sahel, which is the region between North Africa and West Africa. That's when the chaos and Pandora's box was opened to a whole slew of crimes, gun smuggling, human trafficking, and all these kinds of institutions of the UN Office for Drugs and Crimes called the six evils: human trafficking, drug trafficking, gun smuggling, organ, smuggling, and all these things. And that's when ECOWAS realized that, hey, we don't have a Sahel strategy. We don't know how we're going to handle this. We didn't expect Gaddafi to be killed. Now, what are we going to do? So it then needed to leave and find itself watching the Europeans craft up a Sahel strategy, the UN crafting up a Sahel strategy, and all these things, and so on and so forth. So what we found in 2015 and 2016 was the United Nations the United Nations used to have an office for the Sahel, but now it realized that it needed to come up with a more coherent and cost-effective way of handling the Sahel. So in 2016, they came up with a strategy called the United Nations Sahel Strategy, out of which the United Nations merged with the United Nations Office for West Africa, which was created in 2000. Now, UNOWA and then became UNOWAS since 2016. So it is now the United Nations Office for West Africa and the Sahel. So it is the United Nations in West Africa. It was an idea mooted by Kofi Annan to have a peace-building office based in Dakar that will liaise with ECOWAS and the African Union and others on matters of continental peace and security. And so UNOWAS has been around for the past 7 years, offering good offices for issues like these. When there are challenges on regional peace and security, UNOWAS offers a statement in support of ECOWAS or the African Union together to say that, look, let's cool things down. Let's sit down and find out what are the challenges bedeviling the sub-region, or what are the challenges bedeviling specific countries in the sub-region, reason for which they need to unpack these issues and listen clearly and then find a strategy that is consistent with ECOWAS' strategy. So these are some of the things that are playing in the background. And I'm thinking that our friends and our triumvirates of the Burkina Faso and Mali and Niger have not really thought this through. And I really hope that they're going to sit down with ECOWAS Commission and the authorities and say, look, we are not happy with what is going on. We are not happy with the way we have been treated. What do we do? What are you going to do for us, ECOWAS? I would prefer that option. If they need to bring the UN on board, if they need to identify a special envoy, someone like maybe Obasanjo, who's a heavyweight in peace and security, to come to slide down to and have a conversation with them and knock their heads together to say that, look, the issue of peace and security has is more important. The issue of peace and security in the Sahel and West Africa is more important than you three countries feeling that you need to do grandstanding to France. I'm hoping that is something that's going to happen.
Now, you've said that it is not a wise thing to opt out at this time. Have you also considered the influence of other countries? So one, they are clearly angry with France, and possibly because of that, they decide to vent it out on ECOWAS. But there's a role of a country somewhere in Asia called Russia, Asia or Europe, depends on how you look at it, known as Russia. What's the role of Russia in what is happening in ECOWAS?
Well, you see, there's always going to be, attempts by foreigners on the ECOWAS sub-region and its peace and security. We know of the Wagner mercenaries. We know of it. We know of them in Mali. We know of them in many of the countries in the sub-region. Russia will always seek to have its own agenda. But at the end of the day, ECOWAS has to come together and say, what is the ECOWAS agenda for the continent? As far as peace and security is concerned, as far as trade and so on, so forth is concerned. You see, the BRICS have now agreed to accept more members. Iran is now a member. I think Ethiopia was knocking on the door. There are other countries that are knocking, and the BRICS countries as well. So we have a BRICS countries that are serving as a countervailing effort to Europe and its global gateway, and also China and Russia seeking to do their own thing. But for West Africa, we will always have the Russians. Back in Nkrumah's time, the Russians were meddling in the background as well. So the Russians are never really going to leave West Africa or the continent, whether it's through mercenaries or otherwise. But I think what ECOWAS has gone a long way in its integration narrative to realize that it needs to begin crafting its own agenda. And as it heads down the 50th anniversary in May 2025, I want to believe that an assessment of peace and security and the extent to which ECOWAS can become the primus inter pares, that is, the key actor of regional peace and security in the sub-region that is populated by a panoply of organizations, such as WEMWA and all the other institutions that dominate the West African sub-region. ECOWAS is going to be the one that says, look, on peace and security, we are the ones who kicked Liberia, who kicked Charles Taylor out of Liberia under ECOMOG between 1990 and 1997. We are the ones who went into Liberia for 7 good years, making sure that we kept the peace. Simultaneously, Sierra Leone and Liberia kicked Charles Taylor out, and Charles Taylor is in the coolers somewhere in the world.
And also in the same ECOWAS, also in the Gambia. But this would be like boasting on past glory. Recently, ECOWAS threatened that it was going to intervene in the coup we saw. And someone joked a few weeks ago that the standby force that ECOWAS put up should be tired now because they would have been standing for more than a year. The ECOWAS of yesteryears is not the ECOWAS of today. Clearly, things look like ECOWAS is now a watered-down organization, don't you think?
Yes, ECOWAS has had challenges. And one of the biggest challenges has also always been around the chairpersons and then the president of the commission. I will be the first to criticize, for example, during the time of Marcel de Souza, who is late. In 2015, 2016, he was president of the ECOWAS Commission. It was under his watch that Morocco started knocking on ECOWAS's door to say that Morocco wants to join ECOWAS. Some of us went around writing articles, making a lot of noise that Morocco is North African countries. Hello, why is a North African country wanting to join a West African country? And he seemed to be hobnobbing with the Moroccans in very conspicuous ways that some of us did not like. And so a lot of us made noise in various different corners, trying to make sure that this didn't happen. Thankfully, we now know that the countries like Nigeria were totally against it, and they were always going to shoot down any idea that Morocco would join ECOWAS. So you have had leaders, presidents of the ECOWAS Commission who have not been doing the right thing. You had also the Jean de Brou from Côte d'Ivoire, the president of the ECOWAS Commission before this one, who is from Gambia, who, under his watch, we saw a lot of reversal of democracy in the sub-region from 2017 to 2021. It's actually under his watch that there were more coups than we saw. And interestingly, under the incumbent president, when the president of Ghana was also chairperson as well, it was also coincided around the same time when there was a reversal of democracy, a rollback of democracy, and there were more coups. So yes, ECOWAS is not a perfect institution, but an institution is made up of people who are committed with one vision to make sure that it works. And for a regional institution, the case is even more difficult, where you need to align member states around that common vision that we have come this far. What do we need to do? We talked about past glory. Past glory is not always good, but sometimes it's good, especially for the younger generation who may not even know what happened in the past and therefore feel that an institution like ECOWAS is useless. It's not doing anything for me. I want to be able to go to Europe and do whatever I need to do. Why do I need visa-free access to West Africa? What is it going to do for me? Why do I need to be able to go to Nigeria without a visa? And what am I going to do in Nigeria? These are things that the up-and-coming youth need to be aware of so that they can also apprise themselves of the fact that there have been people who have fought for us. Our parents, our grandparents have fought for us. I dare say that the generals under Dogoyaro and Nunu Absa who were in ECOMOG, who fought under ECOMOG, their grandchildren will be very proud that their parents fought in ECOMOG to liberate West Africa. So yeah, past glory is sometimes good to remind us that we need to be a bit more responsible about the future. And so for me, for where ECOWAS has come with its imperfections and challenges, I think it's on the right path. And when you look at the literature, Omar, the literature in the West speaks to an ECOWAS as one of the most successful regional groupings on the continent.
In just 30 seconds, in just 30 seconds, how should ECOWAS react? Should ECOWAS beg them or say good riddance to rubbish?
No. I don't think ECOWAS should beg them. I think it should be respectful. Because these three countries have served as TCC's true contributing countries in a number of ECOWAS missions, or across the sub-region over the past 30, 40 years. They have dedicated, sacrificed lives to the ECOWAS cause and ECOWAS mission. So it's important that these countries are treated with respect. That look, we recognize what you have done for the sub-region, but yes, there are challenges. We have had this, we have had that, blah, blah, and so on and so forth. But let us sit down. Let us sit down. If you think you do not trust the ECOWAS Commission President, who do we call? Whom do you think is important enough to sit down and speak with you so that we can resolve the situation?
Very well.
And for me, that is what I want to see. And I would like to recommend Obasanjo. Somehow, anytime Obasanjo appears in some meeting, we get results. So, these are the kind of people I'm hoping we can see.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
You're most welcome.
That's Emmanuel K. Bansa. He's an ECOWAS analyst speaking to us about that decision by 3 countries to leave the regional grouping. That would be it for Eyewitness News. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. I did this with Akosia Ochre. Production by Kobna Wilson, Beverly London, and Sami Wiafi. Technical support from Daniel Squashi. New media support from Edwin Kwakofi. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Thank you for listening. Have a good night.